Yep.
So let's first write here. Um, we are configuring IpV6 static routing. Now, so on this, you will be using 1941 series routers. So let's use 1941 series routers. So I'm using three 1941 series routers. And when I use the switches, I will be using 2950T. 2950T series routers, switches. All right. And then PCs, I'm using one PC here, one PC on the second router and switch, and PC3 on the other router and a switch. So starting from 1941 router 0, we need to add the serial interfaces first. So turn off the router, add a serial interface, turn on the router, close the router. Similarly, you go to router 1, turn off the router first, add a serial interface, turn on the router, close this. Go to router 2, turn off the router, add a serial interface, turn on the router, and close it. Now, let's install the cables. First, let's install it between our routers. So router serial 00 to serial 00 and use a DCE. So from 001 to 000. And then take a straight through cable coming from your gigabit Ethernet 0/0, going to the gigabit Ethernet 1.1, and from switch fast Ethernet to PC fast Ethernet. Similarly, on the second router, gigabit 00, going to your fast Ethernet 0. I'm sorry. Let's take this out. From your gigabit Ethernet 00 to gigabit Ethernet 1.1, and then from fast Ethernet to PC1. Again, on your router 2, from gigabit Ethernet 00, going to your gigabit Ethernet 1.1, and then from your fast Ethernet to PC2. So remember that we are doing IPv6 static routing. We will be labeling all our networks. So altogether we see there are 5 networks here. This is network 1, network 2, and network 3. Now I need to label them. So let's say that this is our Chicago router. This is our Lake router. and this is our, let's say, Belgian router. Now, let's set up the IP addresses for these networks. For this network, I will be using 2001 colon db8 colon 1 colon 1 colon colon slash 64. And for this network, I'll be using 2001 colon db8 colon 1 colon 2 colon colon slash 64. That's my lake network. And my Elgin network be 2001 colon db8 colon 1 colon 3 colon colon slash 64. And now the interfaces between Chicago and Lake, 2001 colon db8 colon 1 colon 4 colon colon slash 64. And between Lake and Elgin, this network be 2001 colon db8 colon 1 colon 5 colon colon slash 64. If you want, you can place a note here for your gigabit Ethernet. G0/0 is going to be colon colon 1. Let me put a hyphen or dash here. So G0/0 will be colon colon 1. Similarly, for this lake network also, G0/0 is going to be colon colon 1. And similarly here, at your Elgin router network, your G0/0 is going to be colon colon 1. All right. Now, if you want, you can assign the address for this PC with colon colon 2. So 1 colon colon 2, and this be 2 colon colon 2, and this be 3 colon colon 2. So let me just make one here. So it's 1 colon colon 2, 2 colon colon 2, 3 colon colon 2. Now, we need to configure our PCs for the given network. So let's configure a PC. Click on PC, go to desktop, IP configuration. We are configuring an IpV6, so make sure you are in IpV6. So this will be 2001 colon db8 colon 1 colon 1 colon colon 2 let this be /64, and my IPv6 gateway will be FE80 ::1, which is also known to be as link local. So close this. Now go to the next one, next PC. That is PC 1, and go to desktop, IP configuration, IPv6 2001 colon DB8 :1 :2 :2 /64 FE80 ::1. So we're done configuring PC0 and PC1. Let's configure the PC2. Go to desktop, IP configuration, 2001 :DB8 :1 :3 :2 /64 FE80 ::1. So now our host configurations on all these networks are done. Now we need to configure a Chicago router. Remember, on Chicago router we have two interfaces. One interface is gigabit Ethernet 0/0. The other interface is S0/0/0, and this is DCE side, so we need to configure a clock rate also. Similarly, on this, if you look at here, on this router we have three interfaces to be get configured, and on this interface we have two interfaces need to be configured. So let's start with our Chicago router first. So if you are on Chicago router, go to its CLI, no, and go to its global config mode by typing enable, and go to the config mode. Now change the host name to Chicago. Now, before you go to the interface, you need to enable the IPv6 routing. How to enable the IPv6 routing? You should say IPv6 unicast routing. IPv6 unicast routing. Now, the IPv6 configuration is enabled. Now we need to configure the interface. First, let's configure interface G0/0, which is gigabit Ethernet, with IPv6 address of 2001 :DB8 :1 :1 /64. Hit enter. Now, after this, you also need to configure the link local, which is IPv6 address FE80 ::1, say link dash local, excuse me. link dash local. Now say no shut to bring your interface state to up. Now if you look at to your Chicago network, you will find that the interface is going to get up, right? Now, we need to configure the serial interface now. So how to configure a serial interface? You say interface S0/0/0, and you say IPv6 address. What address do we have here? It's 1.4 network. So I will be using 2001:DB8:1:4:1/64 and hit enter. That's it. That's the only thing you will be doing on this router. But before we go to no shut, make sure you configure the clock rate. So in this IPv6, you'll be always configuring a clock rate of higher bits per second, which will be 128,000 bits per second. And now say no shut. So you must configure the clock rates at DCE site, data communication equipment site. Now exit out from here, and you're done configuring the fast Ethernet interface and the serial interface. So fast Ethernet interface and serial interface is done. Now, after this, we need to configure the lake router. In this, we need to configure G0/0, S0/0/0, and S0/0/1. But when we configure S0/0/1, we need to make sure that this is DCE site, so we need to configure a clock rate at this area. So let's begin with our lake router, CLI. Go to global mode, and now go to config mode. And here, before you do anything, make sure you enable IPv6 routing by typing a command IPv6 unicast routing. And then now go to interface G0/0 IPv6 address. This is 2001:2:1/64. So if you look at this, this is 1:2:1/64 network. And now we need to configure the link local also. So say IPv6 address FE80:1 space link dash local, and hit enter. Say no shut. So this will bring our interface up, our gigabit Ethernet interface up. Now we need to configure the serial interfaces. One DTE, another one is DCE. So first configure the DTE interface, data terminal equipment. So for that, interface S0/0/0. Let's take a look again one more time. What is this? This is 0/0/0. Okay. So interface S0/0/0 and hit enter. IPv6 address is 2001 colon DB8 colon 1 colon 4, right? Colon 4 colon 2 slash 64 and hit enter. Just say no shot. So here you remember 2001 colon DB8 colon 1 colon 4 colon 2. I use colon 2 here, and on this router I have used colon 1, right? So this is just to make you know that I use 4 colon 1 here, and I use 4 colon 2. Now on the same router we need to configure interface S0/0/1. Let me make sure this is S0/0/1, and remember this is DCE. So first let's configure the IPv6 address for this interface. IPv6 address. What is the address? It is 2001 colon DB8 colon 1 colon 5 colon 1 slash 64, and then say no. Before you do no shut, do the clock rate, because this is DCE site. Clock rate of 128,000, and then say no shots. It's showing you that the change state is still down because there is another directly connected neighbor. So once we configure that interface, it will be up. So we configured all the 3 interfaces on this router. So we configured this interface, and this interface. Now the only thing that left is the Elgin network and its router. So let's go to the Elgin router, CLI mode, say no. Go to the global mode, and then to config mode. And then here, before you do anything, make sure you enable the IPv6 routing by saying IPv6 unicast routing. You enabled it. Now we need to configure the interfaces. Interface G0/0 IP address IPv6 address 2001 colon DB8 colon 1 colon 3 colon 1 slash 64. Right? This is free network. And hit enter. And before you do shutdown, make sure you configure the link local address, IPv6 address, IPv6 address FE80 ::1 space link dash local, hit enter, say no shut. So this will bring the state of that gigabit Ethernet to up. Now the last thing we need to configure is this side of interface. Let's take a look what this side is. This is SE0/0/0. Remember, this is DTE site. Okay. So for that, I will use interface S0/0/0. Hit enter and say IPv6 address 2001:1, colon VV8 :1 what 5 2/64 and say no shut.
Can you keep this up one second?
So that will bring the status of that interface to up. So with this, we configured all the interfaces of our router, and also with this we configured all our networks with their host name and with their gigabit Ethernet and the serial interfaces.
I accidentally configured one of the serial interfaces incorrectly and it won't let me change it. It says it's overlapping now.
Okay, so just go back and say first no IP address and so on, and then change it.
Okay.
Can you pull up that screen real quick?
Which one?
The CLI screen for your router.